When we measure our days by our productivity, we miss the beauty and the meaning that is found in the purposeful things.
This is Bold Intentional Life, the podcast for moms who are ready to stop sleepwalking through life. Hi, I'm your host, Jessie Larson, and I know how easy it is to get caught up in the daily grind, running on autopilot, feeling overwhelmed, and wondering if this is all there is. But here, we're about taking back control, realigning with what matters most, and making every moment count. You deserve more than just going through the motions. It's time to step into a life of purpose, balance, and fulfillment, one small, impactful change at a time. Each week, we'll dive into real talk, practical tips, and empowering conversations to help you shift from just getting by to fully showing up for yourself, your family, and your dreams. No more waiting. Your bold, intentional life starts now.
Hi, friend, and welcome back to Bold Intentional Life. I'm your host, Jessie, and I'm so glad that you are here today. If you've been following along in the last couple of episodes, you know that we have been slowly unraveling the tight grip of perfectionism. We've also talked about ditching the all or nothing mindset and embracing a more often than not way of thinking and finding ways for us to show up in our life even when things aren't perfect or when they're completely crazy and chaotic. So today we are taking it a step further. We're going to talk about something that came up recently on one of my one-on-one coaching calls. And after that conversation and just what was sparked within this question and in this scenario, I knew we had to bring it to the podcast. So here is a little insider look at a recent one-on-one coaching conversation. We were talking about my client and just a full plate that she had. She was exhausted, running a million different directions, had a whole bunch of stuff going on, right? The specifics don't really matter. But we got into the idea of her saying, I would love a nap or I need a nap, but it doesn't feel productive. Does that hit home? How many times have you felt like you needed rest or connection or joy or play or something, but you denied it because it doesn't check off a box? It doesn't, you don't get to mark it off. It doesn't look productive. It's not something that's getting quote unquote done. And so we sat with this for a second and I said, well, what if we reframed that? I'm big on reframing and shifting and getting curious about the thing. So what if instead of needing to be productive, I said, what if you shifted to being purposeful? Because if you're purposeful, then a nap might be exactly what you need. And so that is what today's episode is all about. It's that shifting away from the feeling and the need to be productive and shifting to purposeful instead of productive. So let's dive into that, okay? We live in a culture that glorifies hustle. We love to check off our boxes. We praise the mom who's juggling it all, checking off every box, crushing her to-do list. But here's the thing. You are a human. You are not a machine. And your worth is not determined by how much you get done. And I know that we know this, but it's so hard to actually embody it and believe it. When we measure our days by our productivity, we miss the beauty and the meaning that is found in the purposeful things. Things like taking a nap because your body needs rest, reading a book, sitting on the couch in the sunshine, reading a book that fills your heart. It doesn't accomplish, quote unquote, anything, right? Catching up with a friend, talking on the phone, laughing until your face hurts, going for a slow walk and leaving your watch maybe at home, not counting your steps or your calories or your burn, just going and noticing everything around you. Sitting on the porch or your back deck with your favorite drink or a cup of morning coffee and just letting that sun hit your face instead of doing a full productive morning routine. Just taking time. Or sitting on the couch and watching a show that makes you feel something. Something just dumb or you're laughing just gives your brain a break. Coloring with a kid, sitting and talking with your kids instead of folding laundry, letting the dishes or the kitchen clean up wait so that you can sit and connect and talk with your spouse at the end of the night. None of these things that I just listed would win you a check mark, would win you any type of productivity awards if they existed. But every single one of those things serves a purpose. And often those things that aren't productive but are purposeful are exactly the thing that you need to feel like yourself again. So here's what I want you to do this week. I want you to be aware and catch yourself in the moments where you feel that guilt creep in. When you want to rest or you want to slow down, but you're feeling guilty or you're tempted to push through or earn your rest. Ask yourself, is this thing purposeful? Does it serve me in some way, even if it doesn't check off a box? And if the answer is yes, then my dear friend, and if the answer is yes, then my dear friend, give yourself permission. That nap, it resets your brain. That coffee on the porch, it grounds you. That chat with your best friend, it reminds you that you're not alone. You're connected. Purpose is not always, in fact, it's rarely measurable, but oh my gosh, is it powerful. And I know that it can be hard to make this shift from productive to purposeful because we live in a world that praise is doing. The crossing off of all the things, the hustling, the filling every single moment with output, the looking for the tangible result. If we're not moving at full speed, if we're not producing something visible, it can feel like we're falling behind. That mindset of always striving for productivity, that is a recipe for burnout, my friends, especially for us moms. Something that I've realized is productivity is external, right? It's output, it's results. We can see it. It's more tangible. There's evidence of doing. But with purpose is internal. It's intentional. It's restorative. It's the why behind the what. And so sometimes purpose and productivity can be the same thing, right? It is purposeful to be productive in some of those things. Sometimes it is cleaning the kitchen. Sometimes it is getting all the laundry done. Sometimes it is those things where you're going to see the result. There's purpose in that for sure. But sometimes it is those things that you cannot see. It's the nap. It's the sitting in your car alone. It's the taking a walk. It's the leaving behind the to-do list and just taking a second to breathe. Purpose isn't always glamorous. It's not always measurable, but it matters. And it is so, so, so important. So as you're getting curious, as you're getting aware, as you're asking yourself these questions, instead of asking, is this productive? Should I be doing this? Ask, is it purposeful? Is this what I need right now? Does this help me? Will this help me show up better later? And checking in with yourself. Getting curious with yourself if you're feeling depleted, if you're feeling like you're creeping up on that burnout, pushing through might not be the answer. Rest might be the most purposeful thing you can do. And it doesn't have to be for long periods of time too. You can fit this in. One of my very favorite things to do is a 30-minute nap. I have a specific audio that I listen to on Insight Timer. It's actually called Power Nap, Theta Power Nap. It has just a beautiful audio. It puts me to sleep in like 2 minutes. I put my headphones in or I just turn it on loud. in my room on my phone, just listen to it, zone out completely. And I wake up after those 30 minutes completely restored versus like sitting on my phone and scrolling to zone out, right? So it doesn't have to be big either to be purposeful, but a nap should never make you feel guilty because that's your body saying like, hey, yo, I need this. So as you're thinking about making the shift from always having to be productive, always having to earn it, you don't ever have to earn anything, right? Redefine what counts. You don't have to earn your rest. You don't have to justify joy and play and laughter. You don't have to perform in order to be worthy of peace. I hope this is a permission slip for you today, that this is a warm hug, a permission slip, just whatever it is that you need to say, oh my gosh, you're right. I don't have to just go, 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 check every single box. I can shift and think, what is the most purposeful thing for me to do right now? And you can come up with a mantra or a phrase or an affirmation, something that helps you with that. Something is, this is purposeful and this is enough. I'm intentional. Just because it doesn't check off a box doesn't mean it's not worth doing. All of these shifts will help you to release all the things that we've been working on releasing and overcoming and shifting in these last couple of episodes. And if you're thinking, oh my gosh, what a revelation, or this came from a coaching session. These are the kinds of conversations and support. I mean, this is scratching the surface of what we do in one-on-one coaching. And so if that is something that you are thinking you might want to dive into, that you're curious about, you're thinking maybe like, oh, I don't know if I can afford it, or oh, I don't know if it's for me, we can do a discovery call. And one thing I pride myself on is making my coaching accessible and available to anyone and everyone. You don't have to be special. You don't have to have unlimited income in order to do that. I know you look at some of these coaches, and no shade to them or anything, with astronomical pricing. And that keeps us stuck sometimes because we think, oh, wouldn't it be nice if I could do that, but I can't. I want you to know that if you want to make progress, if you want to make shifts, if you want to make changes in your life, if you want to feel more intentional, if you want to feel more peace, if you want to feel more purpose in your life, and you feel stuck, there is so much joy for me that comes in those transformations and in those shifts in one-on-one coaching. So just to let you know that resource is available to you if you want that. I do have some open spots right now, and I would love, 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 love to work with you if that is calling to you. If it's not right now and the podcast is perfect for you, I'm so glad that's what this podcast is for. If you love this episode and you think it might help someone else, just to make a little shift, like, hey, yo, permission to chill, not have to just go, go, go all the time. Send this to a friend that you think needs it, who might be nearing that burnout, who could use a permission slip for rest. And as we end this episode today, I wanted it to just be quick, right? Just a quick one. You don't have to do more to be more. You don't have to earn your rest. You don't need a productivity report card to prove your worth. You are allowed to choose what's purposeful and what's purposeful for you. That is unique to you. And sometimes that is the most powerful choice of all. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. I will see you next week for another great conversation that helps you live a bold, intentional life. Until then, I hope you get some rest.